Hey, I'm Dave.
And I'm Jennifer, and we're a middle-aged couple with a Regal Unlimited subscription and a serious fetish for movie popcorn.
It's just water on my shirt, don't worry. We are documenting all of the movies we see in 2025. And tonight we saw a Monday mystery movie at our local Regal Cinema, which I will say again, we are not sponsored by, nor do we have any connection to the Regal Corporation. It just happens to be the closest theater to our house. And they do these Monday mystery movies, if you're unfamiliar, where you pay $5, or in our case, nothing, because we have the unlimited subscription. And you get to see a movie without knowing what it's going to be.
Before it's a general release.
Right. These are early screenings of movies, typically done for movies that they don't know are going to have major crowd appeal or have big marketing budgets. So this is a way for them to get the word out, word of mouth, about the movie, which is exactly what we're doing right now. So it works, right?
Yep.
And we saw Last Breath.
Yes.
And this is a 2023, 2024
It's
movie?
a 2025 release. It's a 2025 movie.
Okay.
But photography on the movie was 2023 and 2024.
It's been in distribution weirdness ever since. And so now it's just coming out. It'll come out February 28th in wide release. And I gotta say, I do not want to spoil this movie for people.
Nope.
It's very, very suspenseful. It is not like some weird twist, like M. Night Shyamalan twist movie.
Yeah.
But the movie itself is just so incredibly suspenseful, and you are on the edge of your seat the whole time.
Yes.
This movie, directed by a man named Alex Parkinson, who directed a documentary about the same subject. It is about saturation divers.
Off of northeastern Scotland, who are based in Aberdeen, which is where I did my study abroad semester when I was in college.
There you go.
And of course, I knew this movie was coming out. This movie stars. It's actually hard to say that it stars any one person. It's very much an ensemble thing. But the two name actors that you would have heard of are Woody Harrelson and Simu Liu. And I follow Simu Liu on Instagram. So he mentioned that this movie was coming out, and I knew it had something to do with diving. And then the movie starts, and I'm like, oh, I recognize that place. That's Aberdeen. And that is where the movie is set. It is based on a true story that took place in the North Sea off of Aberdeen. There's a Netflix documentary about this, and the real life events happened in 2012, and I think the Netflix documentary is 2019. And then this fictional movie is coming out very soon, and it is very, very much worth watching. It is definitely suspenseful. I really, oddly enough, couldn't help but compare it to Captain America in the sense of, not that it has literally anything to do with it, but some of the things that I can't remember if we commented on in the video, but certainly we talked about things like the score, like being wrong and not supporting the movie and in fact being distracting. The score in this movie kept you on the edge of your seat in the same way that the movie kept you on the edge of your seat. A lot of the visuals and the shots, like there is a little bit of CGI element to it, but the large majority of any kind of CGI and special effects are not actually visible as CGI and special effects. And there's
lighting.
a lot of stuff that's really happening, and with good craft of the photography, of the lighting, of the choice of images and shots, of someone who is showing a story and not telling it through the dialogue of the actors. Like, it's just like a solid movie, right? Like, is this the best movie ever made? No. But
every aspect of this movie,
you see the love for this story in the making of the movie.
And every aspect of this movie was chosen with care and deliberation, and wonderful decisions were made in how they were going to tell the story, what they were going to show. like I said, the lighting. So saturation diving, if you don't know, is about it's one of the most dangerous occupations on Earth. It's these deep sea divers who will go down to depths of up to 1,000 feet and stay down there for weeks on end while they work. In this case, it was on an oil pipeline in the North Sea. And
that's all there is to be said about the plot of the movie.
I'm not saying anything about the plot of the movie.
Okay.
So it is absolutely a hellish environment these men are working in, and it's all men.
Yeah.
They made that very clear. This is definitely a man's movie. It's a Tom Clancy kind of movie. It's all about men and machines. But
it is, but I think in a way that's real and not like it's not fetishizing it.
Right.
You know, like it's celebrating it, but it's not fetishizing it.
Whenever you see something that's supposed to be based on a true story, we always immediately assume that large portions of the movie are just completely fictional.
Yep. Nope.
almost always that's the case. In
Yeah.
this case, I think there was a real commitment by the filmmakers to make this as accurate as possible to the real story.
Which is easier to do when you yourself had directed a documentary about it, right? So in a way, they had a first pass on telling this story as a documentary.
Right.
And then turning it into a true story, you know, like an intentional story, but having taken that first pass at it by really examining the real footage and, you know, just having all this source material that clearly they had to be committed to make a documentary about it. Like you can see that play out in this fictional movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it makes it a much more solid movie as not just in terms of telling its story, but in the craft of the movie.
So again, we don't want to spoil anything, but
Yeah.
yes, the movie takes place underwater.
A decent portion of it takes place underwater.
Yeah.
And if you are me, terrified of the
Right.
open ocean, even when you can see it,
Yeah.
I have been on the shores of the North Sea, and I have literally no interest in going into it with my toes, much less my entire self. And just the idea of how insane water is as a physical property, that the film really shows the effort that it takes to be able to dive to 300 feet is where they are in this movie. And I get in an elevator and go 300 feet above the surface level in a tall building regularly and don't think a thing about it.
No.
You know, I have to make no preparation, no adjustment, no whatever. Like, I mean, I guess I've been close to 1,000 feet in a building because I had been in the old World Trade Center, right? I'd been to Windows on the World. That's probably, 800 feet up, right? Like, my ears popped in the elevator, right?
The World Trade
like,
Center was more than 1,000 feet.
the whole building,
Yeah.
but where Windows on the World
I
was,
don't
you know,
know.
like I don't know either.
It
But my
doesn't-
guesstimate is that it's
yes.
800 or 900 feet. The point is that it's reasonably equivalent to like 1,000-foot dive that takes more technique, takes more technical capacity, and takes gazillions of people to make it possible for
Right.
one person to do it.
And 4
And
days of
yes.
decompression.
Yes, and
On
4 days of
either si-
decompression
On
either
either
side.
side. Compression and then decompression.
Right,
Yeah.
where, you know, it takes thousands of people to build a 1,000-foot tall building, but for a person to get in it and go to the highest level of that building doesn't take any preparation for that person.
Right.
You know, like that's just bonkers. Like
This is why we
physics
don't,
is crazy.
This is why we don't live at the bottom of the ocean.
That's why we don't get in the ocean. Stay out of it. It's scary there. Let the lobsters have it. Like the whales, they got that shit knocked. Like just let's leave it alone.
So I
It's
occasionally
scary.
during this film thought about the Kristen Stewart movie Underwater.
I didn't see that.
Didn't we see that together?
I have no memory of seeing that.
Okay. Which is
I
about,
was thinking of Gravity.
about monsters in like the Marianas Trench.
I did not see that movie.
It's a very silly fictional movie. It's got some great bits to it. The creature design's fantastic.
I think we saw the Meg.
No, you saw the Meg.
Oh, I saw the Meg.
And you
That's
saw,
terrible.
And you saw the Meg too.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was on TV.
All right. So this is as scientifically accurate as you're going to find. Jennifer looked up the IMDb page, looked at the trivia, and it turns out they made one change to the movie, which we're not going to tell you about, but it was actually to make the movie more believable.
Yeah.
Because the true story was just that crazy.
Even more unbelievable than the story that's told in the fictional movie, which is bonkers.
So the thing is, we absolutely do recommend you go see this movie, and don't read anything more about it. Don't read about what it's based on, because the story is absolutely worth seeing for the first time fresh. But be warned, like Jennifer almost walked out of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time with underwater, and I have a hard time with space. So when
and with just that constant suspense.
Right, but it's the constant suspense for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Nosferatu or like a horror movie is like this suspense for something that kind of can't really happen.
Mm-hmm.
But space is designed to kill you. The ocean is designed to kill you. Mm-hmm. And everything that humans are doing is to try and subvert that. And I don't want to watch a documentary about building the building that I live in. I live on the 21st floor. I could not fathom being the person that built this building. I also cannot fathom actually being the person that goes to space, and I cannot fathom being the person that scuba dives, even if you scuba dive in a friggin' pool. That's
fathom is a
bonkers.
Pretty good pun for this movie. No, but you went on a night snorkel.
Snorkel. You know what you do to save yourself when you snorkel? You go like this because you're not underwater. My back is exposed to the air when I'm snorkeling. I'm safe.
We went on a night snorkel in Roatan in Honduras many years ago, and I gotta say that is still one of my favorite memories. It was such a alien world.
Yep.
It just absolutely, and just so terrifying and exhilarating at the same time, knowing that they weren't going to leave us behind or anything.
Sure, and there were parts of it where we were in like 4 feet of water, right?
Yeah.
Like there were parts of it where
I wasn't
we
worried
could have
about
stood
drowning.
up.
I was worried about missing the boat on the way back, because it was so dark.
The night snorkel was from a island. There was no boat.
There was a boat.
Not for the night snorkel.
There was a boat.
Not for the night snorkel.
It didn't go out very far, but there was a boat.
There was no boat involved for the night snorkel.
I remember the boat.
The boat is for the day snorkels.
I remember the boat.
No, we went down a little ladder.
Yeah, off the back of a boat.
Off of an island.
Okay.
Off of an island. The night snorkel was off of an island.
Folks, this is why you tune in, as we say on the podcast. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not on your podcast.
No, I keep thinking about the podcast because we talk about stuff like this on my podcast, which is called Spooky Science Lab.
Yes, and you should listen to it, where podcasts can be accessible to your ears.
Nicholas Kaufman and David Wellington. But
Spooky Science Lab.
Yeah, she did a little audio for it. It's great. Anyway, but that's not the point. The point is, Last Breath movie
is really fucking spooky because it's about underwater, and underwater is spooky. It definitely is. It's spooky, motherfuckers.
I would also recommend seeing this in the theater if you can.
Yeah. Size does matter here.
There are shots where the camera really pulls back and you see just how big the ocean is.
Yep.
Compared to these tiny little people.
Yep.
And not that they're tiny compared to other people, just that we are tiny compared to the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And I really felt that in the theater. I don't think you would feel that the same way on a television set.
Nope.
Or especially a phone.
Yep.
So definitely see it in the theater. Definitely see it.
Yep.
We absolutely recommend this one.
Yep.
All right.
Yay.
That's it. We are not going to say another word.
Yep.
Because you should just go see it. So we will see you next time.
All right.
Might be a little while.
Yeah.
We're not going to do another. This is like, what, 4 in 4 days?
This is 6 movies in 5 days. No, that's wrong, right? So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So that's 6 movies in 7 days for me.
Wow.
And I'm not going to go to the movies again for a little while.
We made a bunch of videos all
in a row.
But you can watch them at your leisure. You can watch them 10 years from now.
Yes, you can.
All right. Okay, next time.
All right. Bye.